What's up, future technocratic elites? So I want to talk today about ego again, and an insidious trap that happened to me because of some semantic drift. Semantic drift is just when a word kind of changes its meaning over time, or you have the wrong definition of a word and you're not aware of it. So I realized the importance of ego last fall when I had a ton of other realizations that led up to me going insane, as you may be indifferently unaware. And the main realizations of the ego, which are pretty common at this age, to be honest, nothing special, are just like, if you can get your ego under control, you can learn a lot more. Your ego kind of inhibits your learning, because if you think you know most of what there is to know about the world anyway, you have this weird phenomenon happens where you see something complicated you don't understand, and you kind of just think, that's kind of dumb and meaningless, and I could figure it out if I tried, but I'm not gonna try. Like, it doesn't really apply to me. This is just like people doing their own nonsense, and you think less of everyone. Obviously not ideal at all, and if you have like a mentor figure, it's just, they will not be very useful to you at all. You won't learn very quickly. So I figured that out. Like, set your ego aside. This person knows way more than me. I'm gonna default to them. And that was great, a great realization to have. I think I definitely took it to the extreme by like talking to everyone and their mama about all kinds of existential questions and stuff all the time, and kind of just being like, whoa, yeah, this person knows way more than me potentially. This person knows way more than me. And I just went around to all these people, and my social rhythms were insane. And after that, I decided to go back to school, just because I realized like dropping out and all that stuff was also kind of like an ego game. Like, I just want to be different. I just want to pursue that Silicon Valley billionaire pipe dream and like make a bunch of cool stuff, network with a bunch of people. And I got to meet a bunch of really interesting people. But I think there's this dangerous like cultural shift going on, especially with young men in tech, which is like you want to be kind of a founder archetype, some kind of character who makes something, who does a lot of important stuff in the world and gets rich off it. It's just like what we're kind of encouraged to do socially. It's all over social media and stuff. And I consider myself kind of above that, but I guess not. And the reason is, like, I thought like, that LinkedIn founder culture is so goddamn cringe. But honestly, like, no, I was just tricking myself. Like, I wasn't wearing the cultural mask, but I was engaging in exactly the same behavior. And I don't know, not honestly, like, it was a great experience to drop out. Like, I met so many people, I did a lot of cool stuff, I got a taste of the tech world, and now I'm back at school doing math. So after that, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna focus on math, because that like it worked out well, but like I'm done with the world of talking to tons of people and engaging in tech projects. So I went and I did math, but then I fell into the negative trap of ego, which you could also just argue is like the downswing from bipolar disorder. But I mean, I'm not a doctor, neither are you probably. You're watching a YouTube video, and so I wanted to talk about this, right, which is my perception of ego is someone who like is narcissistic, full of themselves, full of their own abilities. And the reason is people will kind of say, oh, you have such an ego, you have such a big ego. And in my mind, and maybe yours too, but maybe I'm just crazy, ego, kind of, the word ego came to mean big ego rather than ego itself. Like, my concept for ego is someone who's egotistical, but you can also have a small ego. Like, you can think very little of your abilities, which happened to me when I completely stopped posting on YouTube for a while, and I started just doing math homework all the time. And because I was doing so much math, I started watching a lot of math YouTube just to, I don't know, it's what we do, okay? This is, the internet raised us, for better or worse. Like, I like to say I'm above YouTube addiction, but shit's like $3 trillion of engineering, and it gets you subtly. So I was watching math YouTube, and you can really see how these things are like engineered to make you like emotional. And I always thought like, oh, I'm above that. Like, I know these are all algorithms. I'm immune to this. But you are not immune to it. At least I'm not. The emotional manipulation, I mean, to keep you on. And the way they get me is by like, you have all this exposure to all these prodigic mathematicians and programmers and like all these people that made all these cool projects, and then you're constantly like comparing yourself, because I don't know, it's really in our nature, especially in capitalism, where you want to get a high paying job. And like looking at, oh, this guy built this whole machine learning framework in C. God damn, this guy was like half my age and like had his own company in Silicon Valley. This mathematician did this and this and this. And it's very easy to get into a loop of comparing yourself to other people. And we all do it. But I thought, because my perception of ego was having a big ego is bad. If you think your own abilities suck, that's fine, right? That's small ego. But no, that's actually just as much ego as having a big ego. It's like, it doesn't matter which side it's on. It doesn't matter whether you think you're great or whether you think you suck. If you're obsessed with yourself and where you stand in relation to other people, it's just a bad time all around. Because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but when you think you lack ability yourself, for some reason, for me, I kind of map that onto other people. Like, I think they also aren't very able and they have nothing interesting. So I was like, I'm going to go back to school now that I know like the value of mentorship and one-on-one, like talking to someone. This is going to be awesome, right? I'm going to go talk to all my math professors. But if you have a low ego, or if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, then it's like, I both kind of think this math professor doesn't have anything interesting to say, and also like that I'm not worthy to talk to. It's so weird. It's like, it's just as bad though. And it's something you have to keep in balance. And with Zen and meditation, like, there's kind of a concept of not becoming attached to stuff. And I'm slowly understanding that more. And I think like, I was kind of attached to this one idea of what it's like to have ego. And it's always going to be slightly different. You can't just like say, oh, okay, I know how to control that tendency now. I'm just going to stop doing that. Your mind is like constantly evolving. And being self-aware and being mindful is not something you like do once and then, oh yeah, I mastered that. You constantly have to keep updating your own mental model of your self and your mental model. Yeah, and also just don't, I try not to listen to my thoughts much anymore, which sounds weird, but thoughts are kind of just, they're kind of lame if you think about it. Like, my friend sent me this channel called like Meditation Amsterdam. I'll link it. Great channel. And there's actually like tons of gems on YouTube now that are just a few thousand subscribers, and they barely get any views, but they're like really wise people. And this guy said like, your body, all the different processes, the billions of different cells all working together, and all these different systems working together is like so much more complicated, such a vast network compared to like the little part of you that's your consciousness, that it's like, why do you even listen to that primitive machine that's just like throwing out random observations about your survivability? Oh, I'm not as good as that guy at Claude Engineering. Like, why do you even bother listening to that? Yeah, so this video really has no thesis, I guess, but I also wanted to talk about what I'm moving on to next. So yeah, I'm still doing a lot of math. I am enjoying it. Now that I've got over that phase of comparing myself to people, which just continues to happen. It's pernicious. I need to work on a project again, because otherwise I go insane. Like, maybe it's an ego thing, I don't know, but just doing schoolwork like kills me. I can't just be like a normal, I tried the normal college kid, just like go out on the town and stuff. ain't it. I need to be like making big money capitalist moves and gambits and talking to weird Buddhist people online. That's how I roll. And Vim and Typest and what I'm currently working on, I think, have hit a slow point for me. And this is brutal, absolutely brutal. But I was doing my math homework with Typest, and I was like, we had like Giles Castell and all these snippets, and I have all these snippets for doing Typest homework very quickly in math and typing up my homework. But LLMs, honestly, like, just do your math homework on paper and then use GPT to generate the LaTeX, and it's like so much faster than writing it out in Typest, which sucks, but it's the reality of it for doing math homework, in my opinion. You could argue against that, but I think Typest is still an amazing tool for like writing. If you were going to write a full-on textbook or like a thesis or a board game, then Typest is an amazing tool. The compiler's way faster, the tooling is way better, but honestly, like, trying to get really fast in Vim and Typest, it's just like LLMs are making it obsolete. And actually typing speed and Vim in general is like slowly, its days are numbered, unfortunately, is what I believe. But I need to get back into like a project that's kind of useless, like configuring Vim, because it just brings me so much joy, more so than doing productive stuff like math. If you just optimize, I tried this, like optimize away all of your fun in tech, it becomes bleak. And I had a couple mentors who said like, yeah, I went through a phase about your age where I knew all the Vim stuff, all the motions, I knew all the tricks, and I knew all this shell stuff. And then over time, like, you slowly kind of fit to your software engineering role, and you realize, I don't really use most of those tricks. Here are the best tricks I use out of them. And I don't spend all day configuring Vim, maybe use VS Code, honestly. That's what a couple of these mentors told me. And so I took that and I was like, well, I want to be the best. I want to be the most optimal. So I'll just skip over this phase of development and just skip right to being very pragmatic. Oh, I don't configure Vim, I just do work. And it doesn't, I don't know, like you might have to go through the phase of shaving yaks to be a good developer. At least I do. Like, I just enjoy it so much, and it's not fun when it's all hyper optimized for market productivity, and I just don't enjoy it as much either. And actually that enjoyment, I feel like, that I get from just like configuring my system, ricing your window manager, whatever you do that's not market productive, because it makes you enjoy your setup. It's just like, it's just better to do. So the final notes on this are, I kind of want to get back into configuration and like building my ideal system, but I think it's going to take quite a different form, and I think it's unfortunately going to be pretty AI focused. There's this idea of personalized AIs coming out. You probably heard of Claudebot, and there's a few others that people have been working on, and I think could probably make a whole video about this, but we're kind of sleeping on the models we have right now. At least I am. I haven't been on that side of development. Like, everyone's like, oh, they can't do this, they're not AGI yet. And huge models, hundreds of billions of parameters, and we're upscaling the models so they can get better at reasoning, but we already have like just downloaded like a small version of Llama, like I think like the 3 billion parameter, and it's pretty good. It's like basically a surface level representation of all human knowledge in like a pretty small executable unit. This is running locally. This is all human knowledge just condensed, and it'll just talk to you. And I think having like a very personalized one of those that keeps track of all your schoolwork, all your assignments, and does like really boring bureaucratic tasks for you. Like, for instance, going to an ugly website to fill out something for my school is like absolutely, I'm not doing that. That's such a yeah, I'd rather do literally anything else. And having like a model that could do that for you, I think would be very cool. Also, like right out of sci-fi movies, to just have, I've seen people doing it. I'd like to get into that. And like, how do you build up a personalized model that can help you with a lot of things that isn't AI slop? Because I'm very BS averse when it comes to that stuff. And is ideally local and not like complete spyware. I'm suspicious of like forking over that much information to some third-party company. This would definitely be a local LLM. I'll see what I can get done on this Mac Mini with 8 gigs of RAM. Probably not a huge model, but yeah. So expect to see some more stuff on the channel. Probably LLM stuff.